There is a terrifying moment in every person's life, if they are lucky, where they look around the room, look at their phone, look at the people they call family or friends and realize no one is coming. No one is going to save you. No one is going to invest in your vision. No one is going to invest in your vision. No one is going to push you when you are tired. And if you fall, no one is going to catch you. For 99% of people, this realization is the beginning of a depression. It is the moment they break. They feel abandoned. They feel like victims. They cry out to the universe asking, "Why me? Why do I have to do this alone?" But for the 1%, the outliers, the Machiavellians, the architects, this moment is not a tragedy. It is a baptism. You are watching this because you feel it. You feel the weight of an ambition that no one around you understands. You are tired of explaining yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. You are tired of waiting for permission, waiting for a team, support, waiting for a team. Stop waiting for a team. Stop waiting. The idea that you need support to succeed is the single greatest lie sold to you by a weak society. Machiavelli knew this. The great conquerors knew this. History is not written by committees. It is written by individuals who realized that being alone was not a defect. It is written by individuals who realized that being alone was not a defect. I am going to show you how to build an empire with zero support. I am going to show you why having no one is actually a strategic advantage that gives you a lethality the supported man will never possess. But be warned. We are going to perform surgery on your mindset. We have to cut out the part of you that craves validation. We have to kill the herd animal inside you. If you are scared of walking into the dark alone, turn this off. Go back to the crowd. They will keep you warm. But if you are ready to become the kind of person who scares the crowd, listen closely. Let's dismantle the myth. From the moment you were born, you were conditioned to be dependent. School taught you group projects. Religion taught you congregation. Society taught you networking. You have been brainwashed to believe that the only way to move up is to be lifted up by others. It is not what you know. It is who you know. We have all heard it. We all nod. We all agree. And it is poison. When you rely on who you know, you are admitting that you are powerless without them. You are handing the keys of your destiny to people who act based on their self-interest, not yours. Machiavelli wrote, "A wise prince should rely on what is in his own control, not on what is in the control of others." When you seek support, you are seeking debt. Think about it. When someone helps you, you owe them. When someone invests in you, they own a piece of you. When someone supports you emotionally, they hold the power to withdraw that support and break you. You are looking for a safety net. But a safety net is also a spiderweb. It catches you, yes, but it also traps you. The reason you have not succeeded yet is not because you lack support. It is because you are still looking for it. You are burning valuable mental energy, scanning the horizon for a savior. You are diluting your vision to make it palatable for others. You are waiting for applause before you even finish the performance. You must accept the 0 point. The 0 point is the state of absolute isolation. It is when you look at your bank account, your contacts and your resources, and see nothing but your own reflection. Most people panic here. You will not. You will see this as the ultimate freedom. If you have zero support, you have zero masters. If no one helps you up, no one can tear you down. If you built it alone, you keep 100% of the throne. This is the cold rationality of the outlier. We do not cry about the empty room. We use the space to build. Machiavelli is often quoted saying, "It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both." Let us apply this to your loneliness. When you are looking for support, you are looking to be loved. You want people to like your idea. You want your family to be proud. You want your friends to cheer. You are operating from a place of emotional neediness. Neediness repels power. Have you noticed? The more you beg for help, the less you get. The more you try to explain your big vision to your small-minded friends, the more they roll their eyes. They sense your desperation, and desperation smells like weakness. To succeed with zero support, you must stop trying to be loved and start commanding respect through competence. This requires a shift in your internal engine. You are no longer running on the fuel of encouragement. You are running on the fuel of defiance. You must look at the people who do not support you, the doubters, the ghosts, the ones who left you on read, and you must not feel sadness. You must feel a cold, calculated drive. They do not believe. Good. That means the market is open. They will not help. Good. That means I do not have to share the spoils. You have to reach a point where their indifference does not hurt your feelings. It sharpens your focus. Imagine a general on a battlefield. He looks back and sees his army has deserted him. He stands alone against the enemy. Does he sit down and cry about loyalty? No. He assesses his weapons. He assesses the terrain. He realizes that a single man moving in the shadows is harder to kill than a clumsy army marching in the light. He becomes asymmetrical. You are that general. Your lack of support forces you to be smarter. It forces you to be faster. A way to be faster. A large corporation with 1,000 employees moves slowly. They have meetings about meetings. You can change your entire life in 1 hour because you have no one to consult. You do not need a board of directors. You need a mirror. Stop viewing your isolation as a punishment. It is a filter. It is filtering out the weak people who would have slowed you down. It is filtering out the fake allies who would have stabbed you in the back the moment you got a taste of gold. You are alone because you are being protected from the weight of other people's mediocrity. So how do you actually execute this? How do you wake up every day with 0 messages of encouragement and still work like a demon? You enter the ghost phase. This is a concept derived from dark psychology and strategic warfare. If you have no support, you have no audience. If you have no audience, you have no need to perform. Become a ghost. Most people fail because they talk away their energy. They have an idea and they immediately run to tell a friend. The friend says, "That sounds hard," or "Are you sure?" Boom. The doubt enters. The energy leaks. You got a tiny hit of dopamine just from talking about the goal, which tricked your brain into thinking you achieved it. So, you stop working. The ghost does not speak. You must take a vow of silence regarding your ambitions. Do not tell your mother. Do not tell your partner. Do not post big things coming on Instagram. Silence creates pressure. When you have a massive goal inside you and you do not let it out through your mouth, it builds up in your system like steam in a boiler. It becomes physical energy. It becomes anxiety. It becomes restlessness. Good. You need that pressure. That pressure is what pushes you to work at 2 a.m. when the supported people are sleeping. That pressure is the only thing that will break through the resistance. When you are alone, you have the luxury of total immersion. You do not have to go to happy hour. You do not have to attend the birthday parties of people you do not like. You do not have to maintain the social mask. You can let the mask fall and let the monster work. Use your isolation to obsess. The world calls obsession a mental illness. We call it a prerequisite. If you have 0 support, you must be obsessed. You must know more about your craft than anyone else. You must be so technically proficient, so strategically sound that you become undeniable. Steve Martin once said, "Be so good they cannot ignore you." Notice he did not say, "Be so loved they want to help you." When you are undeniable, support becomes irrelevant. And ironically, that is exactly when support starts to show up. People love to back a winner. They hate backing a struggler. As long as you are begging for help, you look like a struggler. But when you are crushing it in silence, when you pop up out of nowhere with results, suddenly everyone wants to be your friend. Everyone says, "I always knew he had it." You will smile. You will nod. But you will never forget who was there when the room was empty. Which was no one, just you. To survive this path, you have to grieve. This is the part the motivational gurus skip. They tell you to hustle. They do not tell you that hustling alone hurts. You have to grieve the loss of the life you thought you were going to have. You thought you would have a cheering section. You thought your parents would understand. You thought your friends would grow with you. They will not. You have to hold a funeral for the version of you that needed them. This is painful. It is a visceral, physical pain in the chest. It feels like betrayal. You will find yourself staring at the ceiling at night, wondering if you are crazy. You will wonder if maybe they are right and you are wrong. This is the test. Every outlier goes through the valley of the shadow. It is the period of time where you have left the herd, but you have not yet reached the sanctuary. You are in the wilderness. In the wilderness, you hallucinate. You invent demons. You crave the comfort of the cage you just escaped. But you cannot go back. You know too much. Once you have seen the reality that most people are sleepwalking, that support is just mutual sedation, you cannot unsee it. So you must kill the boy so the man can be born. You must kill the dependent so the sovereign can rise. This requires you to become your own parent. Psychologically, this is called reparenting, but let us go darker. Let us call it self-architecture. You must wake up and look in the mirror and be the father you never had. You must look at your bank account and be the provider you never had. You must look at your emotions and be the therapist you never had. You talk to yourself, literally. Get up. We have work to do. Stop crying. No one cares. Focus. This is the only way out. You develop a split personality. There is the you that is tired, emotional, and weak. And there is the you that is the commander. The commander drags the weakling through the mud. Eventually, the weakling dies, and only the commander remains. This is what Machiavelli meant when he talked about the prince having a flexible disposition. You must be able to be cruel to yourself in the short term, to be kind to yourself in the long term. You deny yourself comfort now so you can rule later. If you have zero support, you have no one to enable your weakness. If you sleep in, no one wakes you up. If you do not work, you do not eat. The feedback loop is immediate and brutal. This is a gift. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. Support often acts as a cushion that prevents you from feeling the hard impact of your own laziness. When you are alone, the concrete hits hard. You learn fast. You adapt. You adapt. You become anti-fragile. Let us talk about the story you tell yourself. The average person tells a victim story. I could not start my business because I did not have funding. I could not get in shape because I did not have a gym partner. You will tell a villain origin story. I do not mean you become evil. I mean you become motivated by the slight. Michael Jordan, the greatest athlete of all time, was famous for inventing insults. He would convince himself that an opposing player disrespected him just so he could summon the rage to destroy them on the court. You need to do this. Take every rejection, every unanswered text, every smirk, every rejection, every doubt and place it in a mental furnace. They did not support you. Good. They laughed at your idea. Perfect. They excluded you. Excellent. Burn it. Anger is a cleaner fuel than sadness. Sadness makes you heavy. It makes you want to lie down. Anger makes you light. It makes you want to move. Machiavelli said, men are so simple and so much inclined to obey immediate needs that a deceiver will never lack victims for his deceptions. Do not be the victim. Be the one who sees the simplicity of men. Understand that they did not support you because they could not see what you see. They are simple. They obey immediate needs. Safety, conformity, ease. You are complex. You obey a future need. Glory, power, freedom. You are speaking a language they do not speak. Stop trying to translate it for them. Just build the tower so high that they have to crane their necks to see it. When you succeed with zero support, the victory is sweeter. It is pure. There is no one to thank in the acceptance speech. There is no one to split the equity with. There is a dark satisfaction in knowing that you walked through the fire and did not burn, even when everyone watched and waited for you to turn to ash. But to get there, you have to master the art of strategic isolation. Most people are isolated by accident. You must be isolated by design. Cut the cord. If you are hanging around people who drain you just because you are afraid of being alone, you are leaking power. You are paying a social tax to stay in a club that you do not even want to be in. Stop paying the tax. Sit in your room. Stare at the wall. Feel the silence. It will be loud at first. Your thoughts will scream. You are a loser. You have no friends. Let them scream. Watch them. Analyze them. Where do those voices come from? They come from a teacher in 3rd grade. They come from a cynical uncle. They come from television. They are not yours. Once the screaming stops, and it will stop, you will hear something else. A quiet, steady hum. That is your own mind coming online for the first time. That is your intuition. That is your strategy. You cannot hear that voice when you are surrounded by the noise of support groups and brainstorming sessions. Greatness is born in the void. Let us look at this logically. Devoid of emotion. Collaborations fail. Partnerships dissolve. Marriages end. The statistics are against you. Whenever you introduce a second variable, another human, into your equation for success, you increase the complexity and the risk of failure. Humans are volatile. They get sick, they get bored, they get jealous, they change their minds. If your plan relies on another person behaving consistently, your plan relies on another person behaving consistently. Your plan is flawed. Machiavelli advised the prince to avoid auxiliary forces, armies borrowed from other powerful leaders. Why? Because if they lose, you are defeated. And if they win, you are their prisoner. If you succeed using someone else's money, connections, or platform, you are their prisoner. You have to play by their rules. You have to censor your message. You have to compromise your vision. Succeeding with zero support is the only way to own your soul. Is it harder? Yes. Does it take longer sometimes? Yes. Is it worth it? Always. You are building a foundation of granite. The man who is lifted to the top by a helicopter stands on the peak, but he has no leg muscles. If the wind blows, he falls. The man who climbed the mountain alone, clawing his way up the rock face, bleeding, sweating, freezing, he has legs of steel. The wind cannot move him. He is the mountain. You want to be the climber, not the passenger. This is why you must embrace the difficulty. When you hit a roadblock and there is no one to call, do not panic. Smile. This is the rep that builds the muscle. This is where you learn how to solve problems. If you have a mentor who gives you the answer, you learned nothing. You just memorized a solution. If you have to dig through the mud for 3 weeks to find the answer yourself, you own that knowledge. It is part of your DNA now. Zero support means maximum education. You are forced to learn marketing. You are forced to learn product. You are forced to learn finance. You are forced to learn psychology. You become a polymath. You become a weapon of mass competence. The specialist is easy to replace. The generalist who built the whole castle from scratch, he is irreplaceable. So look at your empty contact list and say, "Thank you. Thank you for forcing me to become everything I needed." Now, let us go deeper into the dark psychology of this. There is a concept called sublimation. It is a defense mechanism where you take socially unacceptable impulses or raw emotions and transform them into productive actions. You are alone. You are likely sad, angry, or fearful. The average person numbs these feelings. They drink. They scroll. They watch pornography. They eat sugar. They do anything to sedate the pain of isolation. You will do the opposite. You will feel the pain fully and you will channel it into the work. Pain is energy. It is high-octane fuel. Have you ever noticed how much work you can get done when you are heartbroken or when you are furious? The outlier learns to tap into this energy source on command. You do not wait for a tragedy. You use the ambient pain of your solitude. I am alone. Work harder. They ignored me. Write better. I am broke. Sell more. You create a Pavlovian response where pain triggers production. This is how you become a machine. While others are paralyzed by their emotions, you are propelled by them. Machiavelli would call this virtue. Not moral virtue, but capability. Prowess. The ability to impose your will on fortune. Fortune is a woman, Machiavelli said, and she favors the bold. She favors the man who does not ask for permission. When you have support, you get soft. You feel safe. And safety is the death of ambition. You need to feel unsafe. You need to feel unsafe. You need to feel that if you stop swimming, you will drown. That survival instinct is what unlocks the dormant parts of your brain. We are evolutionarily designed to survive. When you strip away the safety net of support, your primal brain wakes up. Your senses heighten. Your creativity spikes. You see opportunities you would have missed if you were comfortable. Welcome the danger. Welcome the solitude. It is waking you up. We have talked about mindset. Now we must talk about mechanics, specifically the fuel source. When you are supported, you run on light energy, inspiration, joy, collaboration. When you are alone, you must learn to run on dark energy. Carl Jung called this the shadow. Machiavelli called it the fox and the lion. Most people repress their dark side. They are taught that envy, aggression, and pride are sins, so they push them down. They try to be good, and because they are trying to be good, they become harmless. You cannot succeed with zero support if you are harmless. To build an empire from scratch, you need aggression. You need the ability to look at a competitor and want to crush them, not physically, but strategically. You need the pride to believe that you deserve more than the crumbs society has thrown you. Integrate your shadow. Stop feeling guilty about your ambition. Stop feeling guilty about wanting to be rich. Stop feeling guilty about wanting to prove everyone wrong. That darkness is not evil. It is potential energy. Think of a rocket. It does not fly because it has good intentions. It flies because it creates a controlled explosion at its base. Your shadow is that explosion. When you are alone at 11 p.m. and you want to quit, inspiration will not save you. Inspiration is fickle. It leaves when things get hard. But spite is loyal. Pride is eternal. Use them. Tell yourself, if I quit now, the person who doubted you wins. Tell yourself, if I stop, I prove them right. It is a dirty fuel, yes, but it burns hot, and right now you need heat. You can switch to solar power later once you are in orbit. But to escape gravity, you need fire. Machiavelli wrote, God is not willing to do everything, and thus take away our free will, and that share of glory which belongs to us. He is telling you that you are expected to fight. You are expected to grab glory with your own hands. It will not be handed to you. Do not be the nice guy who finishes last. Be the integrated man who finishes first. Be polite, be civilized, but keep the monster on a leash, ready to work. You have no boss. You have no team. You have no accountability partner. This is the danger zone. Most people, when left to their own devices, dissolve into entropy. They sleep until 10. They scroll. They work for 20 minutes, then take a break for 2 hours. They treat their freedom like a vacation. If you do this, you will die. Metaphorically and financially. To succeed with zero support, you must become a fascist dictator to yourself. You need a protocol. A protocol is not a to-do list. A to-do list is a wish. A protocol is a law. 1. The morning negotiation. The moment your eyes open, you are in a negotiation. The weak part of your brain wants to hit snooze. It wants comfort. You must win this first battle every single day. If you lose to the alarm clock, you have already signaled to your subconscious that you are not in charge. 2. Deep work blocks. You do not work all day. That is a lie people tell to look busy. You do deep work. You shut off the phone. You lock the door. You enter a trance state for 4 hours. In those 4 hours, you produce more than a corporation does in a week. Why? Because you have no meetings. You have no interruptions. This is your asymmetrical advantage. Speed, focus, lethality. 3. Information diet. If you have no support, reese lethality. 3. Information diet. If you have no support, your mind is your only asset. If you fill it with garbage, you produce garbage. Stop watching the news. Stop watching drama channels. Stop consuming content that makes you feel small. Read philosophy. Read strategy. Read technical manuals. Machiavelli studied the Romans. He did not study the gossip of Florence. He studied greatness to become great. 4. The evening review. At the end of the day, you must audit yourself. Look in the mirror. Ask, did I move the needle today or did I just make noise? You have no boss to give you a performance review. You must be the boss and you must be a harsh one. If you failed, admit it. Correct it. Do not coddle yourself. This structure creates a container for your chaos. It replaces the external structure of a job or a school with an internal structure of iron. Let us address the biggest distraction for the lonely entrepreneur. Networking. You are told go network, go to events, hand out business cards. Listen to me. Networking is for people who have nothing to offer. When you are starting from zero, you have no leverage. If you walk into a room of powerful people, you are a beggar. You are asking for attention. You are asking for favors. Powerful people smell beggars. They despise them. Do not go to networking events. Stay home and build. Build value. Build a product. Build an audience. Build a skill set that is so rare, so valuable that you become a magnet. When you are a magnet, you do not need to chase the iron. The iron comes to you. Machiavelli advised the prince to make himself necessary. A wise prince must rely on what is in his power. He should endeavor only to avoid being hated. Make yourself necessary to the market. If you are the best video editor in the niche, creators will find you. If you are the best copywriter, agencies will find you. If you are the best strategist, CEOs will find you. Build the honeypot. Stop chasing the bees. Every hour you spend drinking cheap wine as a networking mixer is an hour you stole from your craft. It is an hour you could have used to become undeniable. The best network is a portfolio of undeniable work. The best network is a portfolio of undeniable work. The best introduction is a track record of excellence. Succeed first, network later. And when you do finally enter those rooms, you will not be handing out business cards. People will be asking for yours. This is the part that will feel like a movie, but it is real. If you follow this path, the path of the ghost, the outlier, the Machiavellian, something strange will happen. You will start to win. The numbers will go up. The money will hit the account. The physique will change. The confidence will radiate off you like heat. And then they will come back. The friends who were too busy to grab coffee. The family members who asked, when are you getting a real job? The ex-partners who left you for someone more stable. They will return and they will smile and they will say the word that will make your stomach turn. We always knew we would make it. I am so proud of us. They will try to rewrite history. They will try to insert themselves into your narrative. They want to stand next to the trophy they did not help lift. This is your final test. The old you, the one who craved support, will want to let them back in. You will want the validation. You will want to say, see, they love me now. Do not do it. You must handle this with Machiavellian grace. You do not need to be mean. You do not need to cause a scene. You simply maintain the distance. You treat them with the same polite indifference they treated you with. You become a wall of glass. They can see you, but they cannot touch you. You realize that their love is conditional. It is based on your utility to them. It is based on your status, and that is fine. That is human nature. But you do not build a castle on shifting sand. You keep your circle tight. You keep the gates closed. The only people allowed in the castle are the ones who helped you carry the stones. And since you carried them alone, the castle belongs to you alone. This is not loneliness. This is sovereignty. There is a peace in this that is hard to describe. It is the peace of knowing you are self-reliant. You know that if you lost it all tomorrow, you could build it all back again because you are the asset. Not your friends, not your network, not your luck. You. So where does this end? It does not. Once you have succeeded with zero support, you have unlocked a new level of the game. You are no longer the survivor. You are the architect. You now have the resources to build the world you wanted to live in. And here is the beautiful paradox. Now that you do not need support, you can give it. You can become the person you wished you had. You can spot the young, hungry, lonely kid who is about to give up. And you can be the one who says, keep going. You do not do it to get something back. You do it because you know the pain of the empty room. But you do it strategically. You do not save everyone. You only invest in those who show the spark. You become the mentor, the patron, the godfather. Machiavelli said, it is double pleasure to deceive the deceiver. In your case, it is double pleasure to support the unsupported, to fix the glitch in the system that left you behind. But never forget where you came from. Never forget the cold. Never forget the silence. Keep a piece of that darkness in your heart. Let it be the anchor that keeps you grounded while the world throws flowers at your feet. They clap for you now, but you know the truth. You clapped for yourself when the room was silent, and that applause is the only sound that matters. Wait, look at me. I can feel your brain trying to reject this. This is too hard, it whispers. I need people. Humans are social animals. That is your biology talking. That is the prey instinct trying to herd you back into the flock where it feels safe. Safety is an illusion. The sheep is safe until the wolf arrives. The wolf is safe because he is dangerous. Which one are you? The path of zero support is not for everyone. It is for the outlier. It is for the mutation. It requires you to be willing to look like a failure for a long time so you can look like a legend forever. It requires you to suffer in the dark so you can shine in the light. Most people will turn this off and go text a friend to complain about their day. They will seek the microdose of sympathy. They will feel better for 10 minutes and nothing will change. But you are still here. You are analyzing. You are plotting. You are realizing that the empty chair next to you is not a vacancy. It is a throne waiting for you to grow big enough to fill it. If this opened your eyes, understand this is only what I can show publicly. There are videos I cannot upload for everyone. There are aspects of dark psychology that I simply cannot discuss publicly without being censored or demonetized. The algorithm suppresses the most powerful information. Those exist behind the join button. If you are still here, you are not like the others. Subscribe if you have not, but if you want what is hidden, click the join button and step into the architect level. You will unlock exclusive uncensored videos that dive into the deepest parts of the human psyche. Most will not. That is the point.